Welcome to ESO Daily. I'm your host, Mysticraven. Alright, guys, so, the drama doesn't stop with me, I swear to God. So, there is this plan put in place by a couple of YouTubers and their cult to attempt to oust me. Now, if anybody doesn't know what oust means, most people should know what oust means, but what it is basically it's to drive out or expel somebody, right, out of a position. To say, okay, we're going to force him to quit. Elder Scrolls Online. That's what we're going to do. We're going to get everybody to dislike his videos, get his viewers against him, poised against him, and force him to quit. Because they don't like how much attention I'm getting. Even though I pretty much just cater to average players. Force him to quit. It's funny. So let me check. Hey, Hallie, what's up? What's up? Hope you're having a good day, Hallie. But, yeah, so that's the whole plan now, right? The funny thing is, I always say, I build to the average player. I realize one truth, and this is it. There are more players in this game that are curious about trying new things and trying to stay with the game, right? And try things, than there are players who want to conform. And I'm going to continue with it. Who want to conform and do what everybody else is doing. Boring. It's just that simple. It's nothing complicated. People want to try different things. Hey, how can I do something different with this build? How can I play in a different manner? It's curiosity. Can we do it? Is it possible? Right? And that's where I come in. That's where I come into play. So, that's what I cater to. Another thing I realize, not everybody has Master, Maelstrom, whatever type weapons. So what do? Do you exclude those players from being able to, play the content? Right? I mean, there could be multiple reasons. I'm not speculating either way. Maybe they can't do it. Maybe they don't have the DLCs. Maybe this, maybe that. We could speculate all day. Right? It's irrelevant. The point of it is trying to work around these issues, right? To work around it and to let players try to enjoy it and try to, excel and try to get better. That's where I like to play. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Whew. Woofy. But, that's the one thing that I'm always trying to do. Is just try to provide something that may be useful and may be beneficial to another player. And if they want to try to oust me, they could go ahead and flood in all the players they want, the toxic players who want to go ahead, get on their knees and blow whoever to try to do such. That's fine. If you feel you have that much pull in a game to try to force a grown man and play a little kid tactics, by all means, do what you feel you must do to protect your precious game, right? Because obviously I'm the only player that's doing these type of things, right? No other player could really be doing these type of things. Jeez, but Jesus, whew, it's hot. It's hot in here. But, the funny thing about it is, guys, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to do what somebody might want to do. Whoa. They want this. They want it bad. Did they say? Okay. Hopefully they got people coming. See if I can get some oils and stuff. Come on. Oh my gosh. But here's my sound advice. If you don't like it, don't use it. If you don't want to do it, that's your choice. You know, I mean, how hard is that? I mean, how hard is that? Is it new? You know what I'm saying? Is it a new conception for players to think to themselves, like, I don't like that build. I want to use this build from this player. Okay. What's the problem? I want to make my own build. Okay. Why, you know, why can't players do that? Why does it have to be their way or the highway? And why, and what kind of content is content when everybody's doing the same thing? That's my question. And does it really hurt if I'm providing players with viable builds that may or may not work for that individual? Just a question. You know, hey, I always say to each their own. You know, to each their own. If you want to use that build, that's fine. I never, ever, ever have told somebody their build sucks on any stream or anything. You know, just not me. It's not who I am. There's the train. Whew. They better get there. Oh, they better get there. Look, the back door's beginning. Oh my gosh. This is a good backdoor technique. This is why DC's doing really good, by the way. DC sets up for the Zerg push. That's how you properly backdoor. You basically set the Zerg into one position. You take a small unit and you start the backdoor on the back end, cutting off reinforcements and funneling the main force to recap, and only a small percentage to hold the next keep. The number advantage isn't there. So this is a prime example of proper backdooring technique. They have 16. They got the main forces. They've got probably a unit over there, just one unit. So good job. And then the rest are coming over to Chalman. So now it forces your hand. Do we go to Arius and defend our choke point, or do we try to hold Chalman? And it's a smart play. That's smart backdooring, just for the record. Something EP could learn on PS4. So let me check out the comments. I think maybe there was other comments. I wasn't sure. But anyways, so the funny thing, like I said, I have no problem. Oh, wait. Okay, there is another comment. James Brown. After they are done with you, I wonder who will be next, Sherman or Zai. It's going to be like that. That's what they're trying to do. So they look at me as like an easy target, but I'm probably one of the most stubborn people you'll ever meet in life. I spent a lot of time training in my life to deal with physical abuse because I was an amateur fighter at one time. So them trying to oust me is probably one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of. Now, whether or not I have 15 subs, 100, 1,000, 5,000, whatever, I'm not going to stop doing what I've been doing. There was an inspiration for me to start this initially. That's what I sought out for. That's what I started this channel for, and it's come to fruition. I covered diminishing returns. The devs went ahead and vindicated me on that by introducing and saying it officially in the patch notes. We have diminishing returns in this game. We are doing the jump points for them. That was it. They introduced the jump points, but diminishing returns was there. I was vindicated in that. All of a sudden, I said any race, any role, and now you have the skill advisory. Now you have players trying to build for these other ones, but guess what? Players like me already have them. They already exist through us. So now we're a threat. right? We're the threat now. We're the threat. And it's just like, why has it got to be like that? Why does it got to be like that? You know what I'm saying? Why? It doesn't have to be. Like, I don't know most of the YouTubers. And if I support a YouTuber, it's because I like them as an individual and as well as a content creator. Like, if I've ever gone against somebody, it's never been personal with me. It's never personal. Of course, I portray the dick and the ass because it's reverse psychology. I use that to go ahead and challenge the conception, right? The idea. And when people do that, they do what? They go ahead and put more work in. It's not as simple as just saying it's this way or that way. We have in different values and other numbers that have to be calculated and configured. So it's never as clear cut as one person would like you to believe it is. Can I? So that's what I'm always saying to players. It's to challenge you. It's manipulation. Is it right? Maybe not. But, nevertheless, it gets results. And that's what I'm after. I'm not after subs. Subs are cool, and I love my viewers. But I'm after results. I have to produce results. And I have to go ahead and challenge the player's conception. It's not about being right or wrong. It's not about that. I could give two shits less if I was right or wrong. Of course, I'm going to make myself try to be as right as possible. And maybe I'm trying to get players to think. Possibly. I don't know. But I'm human. I'm flawed. We all are. And that's the beautiful thing about this game. You can do what you want. You can play a lot of different roles, a lot of capable situations. That's what I provide. I understand the bigger picture, and I always have in this game. And out of all my years of MMOing, I don't care to be the best, number one at anything. It's not what I even care about anymore. It's not really important to me, to say the least. It's just like, okay, can I make a Nightblade healer? In this game, you can. Okay, cool. How do I get another player who wants to do Nightblade healing to be effective? Just the question. Because there's players out there that's been doing it since beta. I mean, I wasn't the first. Same thing with the DKs. And yet, the meta players will always say, it sucks. They would vote you out before you even got started in a dungeon. Is that fair to those players? Is it that toxic? I mean, they called me toxic. But what's really toxic? I'm asking. And then when you publicly announce on your YouTube, we're trying to oust Mysticraven, and on Discords, multiple Discords, right? What's that say about your followers? I mean, I think it speaks volumes. Feared. All right, let's hold. Just a little bit longer. Just got to hold a little bit longer. Enough for them to cap, bring in the reinforcements. That's all we need to do. Gated. Not a good sign. Oh, snap. Okay. Blue's doing it good. Proper technique, man. Proper technique. I appreciate that type of gameplay. I might not like it, but I appreciate it. Hey, yeah, so you pissed a lot of people off. That shit was funny. Yeah, thanks, King. The thing is, they go by the meta. They don't think outside the box. Right. At the end of the day, though, I mean, am I ever saying that you can't use it anyway? I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like, I'm not saying I'm always saying, let's take a look at penetration. Let's take a look at applying this class in this role. How are we going to go ahead and address this and, give people their options, right? And try to maximize that. That's all I'm trying to do. And take into consideration the real facts, the real numbers. How many have Maelstrom? How many have Master? How many? How many? Not a lot, really. And what? We should be dicks to the players who don't have it? It's ridiculous. It's ludicrous. And when I left, I took a 2-year sabbatical from MMOs because for years I was that dick. And my guild, a couple of guilds actually, it wasn't just one in particular. Every time I'd get in a big guild, we would go ahead and like scrub out players. And it was unfortunate, right? But we did it because we wanted to get through content, right? It was the justification for it, right? And in this game, the players are saying, well, anybody can clear. What's the score? So that's your justification now, right? That's the justification. Anybody can clear, but at the end of the day, what's the score? Okay, it makes sense now. Makes total sense to me. So, the challenge isn't in clearing, it's about the score! At the end of the day, it's not about progression. No. It's not about that. Not about trying to get better as players. It's about bragging rights. And that's what I've realized in my 2-year leave from MMOs. Because egos got in the way. Right? So we would clear and then everybody be like, oh, I was the top DPS for the last trial run. I'm like, dude, you got an extra piece the trial before. Of course your parse is going to be higher during the run. But now you're pissing off so-and-so in the process. Well, it's just because they suck. Really? Because if I was to give them the same gear, would they have better DPS? Because remember, in raids, we only got one piece per boss, and we had weekly lockouts. Egos just kept inflating. And it just kept ending in the same result, game after game, guild after guild. Egos crushed, broke apart guilds. Even the most successful ones. And it was wrenching. It just sucked. And that's why I took a leave of it. I just got tired of it. Right? I got tired of, working my ass off for content, and the expansion comes out, and all my shit's replaced by green gear. I was tired of that gameplay style. So I took a 2-year break from MMOs. I come back into the MMOs to Elder Scrolls. Now, I never did YouTubing prior to this, nothing like that. And then I come to this game where everything was overgeneralized, completely not even optimized, and people ignoring the fundamentals of MMOs. That's the truth. Everybody wore Twiceborn Star. Everybody stacked CP. Everybody had the same Mundus. Didn't matter. Everybody used Templar healers. No other healer was even considered, let alone accepted. The toxic environment in which this game was in was like really bad. It was terrible. Players' options were being cut off left and right. You have a stamina build. put them all in the same set. You have a magical build, put them all in the same set. One Tamriel comes by, introduces what? Variety. Heaven forbid. And now, though, once again, it comes to what? Bragging rights. Not helping players try to utilize what they have at their disposal to get them through content. No, 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 no. At the end of the day, this is the best to get it done. Nothing else is acceptable. If you don't have it, you're a hindrance to the group. Okay. Sure. I guess. It's just, you know, I guess. Sure, we'll go with that. Yeah, I'm running a Warden tank, Jake. Right, yeah. Good call, man. Good looking out. Good day to you, Mystic. I hope your day has treated you kindly. What is their problem? They just don't want me. They literally have publicly announced on Discords and some players' channels that they're trying to oust me. And then you got the same person who said he's going to oust me, who's going to guess what? Compare my builds to theirs. Sure, there's no bias situation there. I don't care though. Like I told LHZ or whoever, like I built for the average player. And one player actually said, hey, I've ran Mystic's build, I ran their builds. If Mystic's builds are off, they're marginal. Hey Mystic, you have a guild I can join to kick it with you? No. I belong to other guilds, but I don't have my own personal guild. So I run trader guilds. I run in trader guilds, and I run in some trial guilds. I'll leave it at that. So, how do you respond? Well, I'm not going to say allegations that your mother suffered. Really? Did he say that? Really? Do you have the post for that? Unreleased? Do you have a link to that? You can't link it, but if you tell me where it's at, I'd love to see it or hear it. Really? Interesting. So let me get this straight. I'm not a PvE guy, but the PvE guys are mad that you have successful unique builds. What's primary alliance I run with? I run on DC on PC, EP on PS4, and AD on Xbox. So different ones depending on platform. Yeah, they're pretty mad. The PvE guys are. Right. And they're saying that my builds are trash. They're not even successful. That they're trash builds. Sure. I guess. That's why, you know, I stream live with pugs every day, but sure, I guess. And it's not remotely because I'm in a pug. No. If I do a DLC, if you do a DLC and you fail, it's not because of the pug. It's your build. Of course. Absolutely. It's completely, absolutely correct. You know? Alright. Position. They got the scroll. They're about to gate the other one. None I can do except hold in this position. Nice. It's been really interesting lately. Kind of interesting. Kind of good strategies on both ends, except EP afternoons. I don't even know what goes on. I really wish sometimes there'd be like some players that would make those big plays like for us. What's your primary alliance you run with? Like I said, I don't switch on every platform. Like if you're on PS4, I'm an EP player. If you're on Xbox, I'm an AD player. If you're on PC, I'm a DC player. So I know a lot of good people who have done a lot of content. But if you're in a raiding guild or group, then there's no room for a loss of damage or having a disadvantage build. Use BIS and there's no problem. Problem of it is, Jake, there's no BIS. Even Outcast has contracted that statement. Because every class has to be configured in a different manner to optimize group performance. Hence why there's no BIS. Then on top of it, you have a player currently who's running a Stam Warden healer having no deaths in all vet content at currently. And it is phenomenal to say the least. And that is unorthodox and completely not meta. I smell a troll. Yep, could be. Well, you have helped me way more than any other, and I appreciate that a lot. Thanks so much, and I hope their collective, they get their collective heads out. Thank you, Ghost. I appreciate that, brother. If you would like, you could always come along on a trial raid with the guild I'm in. You are more than welcome to stream it. I'm in trial guilds, James. But thanks, man. I appreciate it, though. I'm already in trial guilds. On the Xbox, I'm on the second highest current trial guild on Xbox. I'm just trying to get built up for it, for implication, or being implanted into the guild. But thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. Gated, bro. Dude, Swag, you guys are badass right now. Oh, look. There's my troll. That's one of the guys, probably. There we go. Got rid of that one. You alright, ESO Daily? I'm Vargolf Awoken, by the way. You have a decent tank. Thanks, man. Yeah, no, I'm cool. I'm just tired, man. It's just been a long, drainful day, dude. The bear. All vet content, huh? Yeah, like that Stamina Warden healer? Yeah, he's doing all vet content. It's nuts. Like, I literally watched this dude, and I was like, oh my god. Dude's beast. Like, I have a Stamina Warden healer build, but I wasn't even planning on ever taking it in trial, to be honest with you. I just made it for vet content. Like, okay, you know, can we do it? Okay, cool. Here you go. And it's called the Advocator. And that's all I was planning on ever using it for. Just saying. There actually were deaths in Hoff. You can see from watching. Okay. the video. I don't know about the mall run. Have not watched that. But here's the cool thing: are they successfully doing it? That at the end of the day, they're doing a non-meta and succeeding. Who can argue those results? I mean, seriously? Oof. What the fuck are you talking about, man? I'm really glad that a lot of these trolls are showing up, because that just allows me to do these things. And that's another thing that's really cool right now, because since they're trying to oust me, they're coming to the channel, and I can get to like multi-block it. So it's really cool. Who's that warden? His name, I'll type his name in. And he's looks so beast. And of course, he's not even from this country, so I don't give a shit. I don't think he's going to give a shit if anybody tries to troll him, but he's beast. And then on top of it, like, I think he deserves way more subscribers just based on what he's doing. You know? There is no bits, there is only moves. Multiple option optimized for situations. Helly, I love that. I love that. That's going to be my moves. I love it. I love it. Yo, bro, have you ever pushed for imp? No, swag. Like, competitive, like, play has been, like, totally, like, drained for me. Like, somebody had asked me, they wanted me to push for amp, and I was like, I got kids, man. Like, I don't have the time to be on here all day and, like, you know, AP farm like that. I'm not arguing that the build isn't successful. Oh no, I'm not thinking you're trolling style. Definitely don't think that. You know, I mean, you're making an observation. I know I could be perceived as a dick, but my community members, we actually do talk. That's why they're here. For what the player is intending to accomplish. But yeah, there were deaths. Okay. I mean, cool. I mean, if, you know, and I believe you. So, you know, it's cool. Yeah, man, I feel you. Yeah, it's crazy. You like Vegemite, mate? I've never eaten Vegemite because I'm in the States. I'm from Ohio, but I know a couple of Aussies, and they're always talking about Vegemite, and I've never had it. I mean, I've heard, you know, it's kind of like a thing. You know, you either hate it or like it. If you're from Australia, it's kind of like they kind of compare it to peanut butter, but they say it doesn't taste like peanut butter. But that's what I've been told. Uology, dude, this is my dude. Admit it, you suck. We are going to drag out of here one way or the other, poisoning our community with free thought and options. I know, Uology. No one should ever think for themselves. It's a crime. Don't do it. I know. Don't do it. Don't think for yourselves. Don't ever do it. Don't try something new. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid. Everybody should just oust me or make the attempt to. But here's the nice thing about that as well. And of course I'm talking and I'm checking out the stuff and I'm not paying attention to what's going actually on out here currently. The one thing I really like, though, is that they still have to click my feeds to dislike. My stuff's monetized. So they're still paying me by trying to oust me. Keep clicking. Keep clicking. And at the end of the day, it's free publicity. It might be negative publicity, but it's still free publicity. Hell, I don't need marketing. I just need haters. Cat Williams said you need haters, right? If you got 10 haters, you better find a way to get 20 by the end of the month. You better find a way to get more haters, because that's how you get known. That means that you're doing something that somebody doesn't like, and why? Because it's a threat to somebody. I think the skill advisory's got more people pissed off than anything. All right. Gonna give everybody some resistance. More, like I said, way more of a support build. Debuff these people. Okay, they've been debuffed. Force them out, don't run in. Gonna step on their mine if they have any. Once again, I have the resistance to my party members. Okay. There's the bomber. Going in. Nobody followed me up. They were frozen. Oh, it's Silly. Silly's probably one of the best. Dude, like, Silly Gamer Tag is what made me... Like, I started off with Mage Blade. Let me tell you guys a story. I started off with Mage Blade. Started off healing, went DPS. And I really liked Mage Blade for the longest time. Really enjoyed PvPing Mage Blade. All the way. And then I bumped into Silly Gamer Tag. Now, I had a DK already, but I didn't PvP with them yet. Silly Gamer Tag was running a mag DK at the time, and that's what really prompted me to learn mag DK PvP. Now, this was like probably 2 or 3 months like after like I had, like, you know, maxed out. So, you know, I was like, oh my god, this dude is fucking ripping people apart with this Magic and Night Blade. And he's the one that was like, oh, you know, like, really inspired me to do it, to be honest with you. And I'm not gonna lie, I like a Silly because he always plays campaign, and he's still a hell of a player. You're not gonna bomb me. Come here. Jeez. Dude, I would've rezzed you. Come on. Bombing doesn't work on Mystic. Come back here, guys. Okay, now. Now. That's right! Ah! Play the support! Let the bombs go off! So I like playing a tank sometimes. You know, buff your party members, debuff them. Excuse me. You're not going to get those big plays like you would if you were a typical DPS, but just the little things like that, like pushing ahead, forcing them to drop their ultis, getting the heals in. Love it. I have a video with my Templar tank, and dude, like, that dude was so badass. I held an entire fucking wall one time. I need him to hit me. Damn it. Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor! Damn it! What are you doing? Dude, I would have rezzed you. Wait, why isn't my ulti dropping? There we go. Shit. What the fuck, man? Was I negated? I saw the siege shield, but I didn't see another shield. Fuck. Guy's persistent, man. I'm not gonna deal with them. They're just tower farming. I gotta get down here. Oh, that's toxic shit. Tower farming's toxic. Okay, let me check out this stuff. Alright. Why do you automatically label everybody who disagrees with you or has a valid circumstances of your views a troll? No, Magnum, that's not to me a troll. A troll is like, we have discussions in my channel. Not everybody agrees with me, on my viewers. People who are asking negative stuff, replying in a negative manner, and being toxic is a troll. That's trolling. It's what it is. It's not about a difference of opinion. I don't care if you have a difference of opinion. That's fine. If you ain't got haters, you ain't doing anything right. Damn right, David. That's true. What's your gamer tag on Xbox? Same. Mysticraven 40. That's my gamer tag. I need to get back into this game. Definitely Renegade. You should definitely get back into it, brother. Definitely. Like, seriously? Yellows are sieging and the blues on the back end. This only ends one way. It only ends one way. Blue coming in and putting it in yellow's ass. No, I don't care if people have a difference of opinion. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. That's something we all go over when, you know, I do whatever. That's fine. Like, I don't do clickbait stuff, and I don't, like, whatever. My main thing is, like, simple. I just provide for average players. Builds, we'll discuss things, we'll go over some things. That's all I do. That's it. Are they pushing for an imp? Did they get the door open? Yes. Okay. Nice spear. Pretty solid. Not too much on that one. That fear couldn't go over. Ah, the ballista got me. Yeah, that'll do it. The Barrack Storms was pretty good. That was a good call for an ulti. In cap, yeah, not much you could do against that. It's not going to hit for its output as much because I got all that resistance. That Cold Harbor really beat my ass, though. Put it in me. Poof. Ow. This is another thing that happens. Once we try to recoup from backdoor, we get, like, you know, just forced in, you know, a little hole. So it sucks. You know, that point sucks. So, let me check out the chats one more time when we're wrapping this up. Just wanted to get on. Give the notification I'm getting ousted. Or trying to. I hear a lot about diminishing returns in ESO. Is there any good example of this? Diminishing returns are in every MMO. Any class-based MMO, you have a diminishing return. But in games like World of Warcraft, you had fixed variables because everything was out of your control based on gear, right? In this game, you have other ways of spreading out your character your character sheet. So I can go ahead and make different calculations depending on what I'm trying to do with said build. Now, PvP, all rules are out the window, right? I mean, you still have diminishing return, and it's true, but you can kind of build to whatever you're trying to specify for, whether it be tank, heals, so on and so forth. DPS, whatever have you, medium, light, medium for speed. You can go with different monster sets, different resistance type applications, and all that's true. But, okay, like critical value, right? The higher your critical value over 55.5, right, starts a diminishing rate off of your base damage. Your base damage is equivalent to 150% of your critical value without any other modifications to critical damage output. Now, anytime you exceed over 60, your base damage starts what? Doing less. You crit more frequently, this is true, but you deal less damage. That's one example of diminishing returns. Now, that rule is the golden rule in all MMOs. The higher the crit, the less the damage. The higher the crit chance, the less the damage of the critical value. So that's always been a golden rule in every MMO. So it's always been the case. Nothing's ever changed that in class-based MMOs. Now, sandbox MMOs don't have diminishing returns. Why? Because they have hard caps. Right? So if I have 100 points and I stick 100 points into like swords, that's my cap. I can't get any higher damage on the swords, the sword abilities, or the sword damage, because I'm capped. Right? There's a hard cap in place. So the diminishing value does not affect it because it's straight, you know, 100 points. This is the total amount of damage you're going to do with said attributes and abilities. Plain and simple with sandbox MMOs. So sandbox, completely flexible, right? Based on what you're trying to do. But class-based system, you have to apply a diminishing value to do what? To keep some balance throughout the game. That's why they implement diminishing returns. And it always comes back down to percentage value. So, and it's called the law of diminishing marginal return because it always applies to percentage-based math. It's easily accessible to implement that type of controlled mechanism into percentage math. So, devs always implement diminishing returns on that. Now, games like World of Warcraft, where you couldn't control the diminishing return from skill from gear perspective, it was implied in rotation. So you had to understand global cooldowns, proper rotation to marginalize the diminishing rate and maximize the output. So games like that were fixed and linear, you couldn't control gear parameters, but you can control what? Rotation. So that's how you did it. So in Elder Scrolls, the diminishing returns are set in CP. It's the most prominent, right? And it's been like that prior to Morrowind. Ever since they had the vet system and they introduced champion points, diminishing returns have been applied. Well, it's even before that. But diminishing returns was definitely applied. And then you had old school MMOers when the vet system was implemented, who was posting on the forums, who had the percentage breakdown even in the forums, but no YouTuber was covering it during that time. But if you went to the forums was littered with literally people who had the, calculations already figured out. So it was there, just players weren't aware of it. So that's kind of what perturbed me, OCD kicked in. CP stacking is bad. Have worked on diminishing returns for 200 years. You have? It's bad. It is bad. Later all, have a good night. Night, Helly. You have a good one. What's the point? Which side is ESO on? Does it have a diminishing Does it have this diminishing return? The whole game's littered with diminishing return. It's all percentage math. Dude, effing Blanningham. I've never had a maelstrom anything or a mastered nothing. Haha. Abused overland and crafted sets with a bit of skill and rip through metas. Nice, love. Excellent, dude. Tell it. You can do it. It's some skill too. Skill definitely plays an important role, doesn't it? Whoa, do you have any good builds for a pet sork? I do have, I think I had one, but I haven't updated this, Sork DPS for this update. I'm kind of been a little, skimmed on money. I've been playing on all 3 platforms. So, I haven't done any updating on, some of my other builds. My backdraft build needs updated. My Tesla coil build needs updated. I need to, reconfigure a few things. So there's a lot of stuff I still haven't got to do. I always do the healers first, typically, but Serenity still has yet to be updated as well. That was my next project, was Serenity, the update for Serenity. And, it is what it is. I was like, okay, I still have to do this and that. So, and it costs gold, man. It all costs gold. I have the gear, that's not the issue. The issue of it is it costs gold. And I'm going through hundreds and thousands a week just in respecs. But I always tell players, if you find something that works for you and you like it, keep it. I typically try to play a little different and try to make things more accessible to average players and kind of give it a nice little twist. That's why I like to do it. But there's a lot of things I don't do either, because there's certain things that I'm like, no, I don't like that. And I'll play with it and I'll be like, there's certain reasons why I don't run certain configurations like certain players do. And I don't want to do what everybody does. That's so fucking boring, man. But I want people to do, if I'm going to provide a build, I want it within, within margin. A margin of. So I'm a little OCD about that as well. So I don't do clickbaits, and I refuse to do any of that stupid stuff. So I'm a little bit of a snob in that aspect. It's just the old school in me. But, I when I'm doing things, I want to make sure, okay, This is what I'm getting. This is what I'm doing. Da 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 da. Seems pretty good. We'll switch it up. They can do it. This will be optional. That's why I like to do configure builds. You know, personally. Now, do I ever say my builds are better? Never. Once again, it's a preference thing. It's just preference. And that's why I like about it. Spice of life. Spice of life! It's the spice. Excuse me. Okay. Let me check this out. Also, what's the best way to avoid diminishing returns? And what are your thoughts on Sorc healing? People say they are bad. No, Sorc healers push out the most single target healing. As far as, you know, in comparison. I know everything about damage mitigation. Can you maybe do a video of this diminishing return? Are you guys just trolling? Because now I'm starting to think you're trolling. You can't avoid diminishing return either. It's called the law. Anytime you have percentage math, diminishing returns is automatically applied. If you have to invest something, there's a diminishing value. Oh, look. Dude. Gilliam, me had that conversation, Asian. You dumb fuck. He used to stack critical value up to 80% at one time. You can ask him. You know. And you don't do that. And I already have a video on that, Asian. But guess what? There's one of the dumb fucks who's trying to oust me. He's gone. I love it. Thank you for showing up. Increasing critical chance always yields a higher metric. No, you dumb fuck. You'd be wrong. Your base damage decreases after a certain percentage. Why? Diminishing value affects base damage. It's the golden law of MMOs, you dumb dumb. You can Google it. You can Google that, you dumb fuck. Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Neff's a dumbass, too. He was talking about Power Lash, and now Outcast has gone to, you know, Molten Whips. How's that working out there, Neffs? Though I've always used it. And you're talking shit. And now everybody's using what? Whips over Power Lash because of the changes? Kind of interesting. Good luck there, bub. Idiots, haters, born every day. No, I'm glad they actually showed up. I've been intending to block a couple of the dumb fucks. But yeah. Like, that's one thing I do go over. Most people understand. And actually, if you ask my viewers, I've already gone over the critical values. Actually, a player who used to be in development, if not this game, but games in the past, has stopped into my channel occasionally, and we've discussed the math behind it. And we would always tell people, your critical value without any prior modifiers is 150% of base damage. When you go over 60%, well, anything under 55 point whatever starts diminishing value on base damage. And anything over 60, you're definitely losing tons of, your base damage starts, like, if I'm 100% crit, and I crit 100% of time, do I want to crit for, I don't know, 7,000 damage? Or would I rather crit 50% of the time for, like, 16? That's the point. That's the point. These idiots' plan is working in reverse. They're making you bigger, Mystic. I know, right? It's kind of cool. It actually is. Like, I got like hundreds of views in a day just because of the post I did today. And I didn't mean to. I was debated about doing it. Like, I was literally debated whether or not to do it. Now my phone's about to be dead, so I'm just giving you guys forewarning. So, I was debated whether or not I wanted to proceed. Because there for weeks and months, I was being like, it was all good. Like, I talked to Gilliam, and we squashed everything, right? Okay, cool. We talked about it, and he's like, and I'm like, dude, you've been he's like, well, your stuff's toxic. And I'm like, how's my shit toxic when I'm providing builds in the way the game's been intentionally designed? For the average player, how's that toxic? Right? I'm going over the diminishing returns. I'm going over penetrating values. I'm going over all of these factors. So how is my shit toxic? And I'm like, but you guys, you're saying this class doesn't function as well as, or this as, and that was never the dev's intent. And I'm like, so now you've got players like me who are being like ridiculed, mocked, everything by what? Kids who don't know any better. And that's the funny thing. Asian's a kid. I'm sorry, Asian. I've been MMOing before your conception. Right? I've been MMOing prior to your conception. Now, I'm not competitive anymore. But if you played World of Warcraft, did you get GM status? I had 2-time GM in one season. I did first on Molten Core, AQ, Nax, Nixias. I'm like, I did all that stuff during its release. Like, I was there. You know? Karazhan. I was there, dude. Like, honestly. I was in Vanguard. I was in EQ, EQ2. I tested for SOE. I've tested for Microsoft. I've tested for Wizards of the Coast. Like, seriously, man. Turbine. NC Soft. They're some of their offset companies. There are certain companies, like, I never did anything for this company, for ZeniMax. Never worked in whatever. Mythic, I've done stuff for Mythic, Warhammer. Well, Matt was on that project. Cheyenne, which never came to fruition. I'm sorry, dude. I put in way more time than you ever have in games. Put way more time, brother. Put way more time in MMOs than you have or ever have. I'm not competitive anymore. Like I said, you know, I played City of Heroes, City of Villains. I've done tons of stuff. And I was playing DCUO, but Rift had me pissed off at one time, like really bad. Did dude just kill himself by shooting at me? I wonder. Oh, hello. Come on. Dubs! That's my boy! That's my boy! Oh my god, Dubs! Dubs, you the man. I hope you watch it. Oh, Dubs, dude. Oh, dude, it's so good to see you. I'm going to be messaging you after this. That's my dude. That's my dude. Ah, shit. Who do you got, Dubs? Is Rusty in here? Oh, God, that's my boys. Those are my boys. They harass the hell out of me, but I love every one of their asses. Oh shit, I'm not gonna get it. Dubs is gonna get me. Ah! Did Dubs? Nah, I don't think Dubs got it off. He got the haunting curse, but I didn't get the deflection. That's so badass. I'm so glad he's back. I hope he's back. T-Dubs. Dude. Like, Miami. Like, I know Miami. Miami's like probably one of my favorite stalkers who come in. Dubs doesn't stalk me, though. But T-Dubs, Ms. Dubs, Ness, and definitely Elusive's great. I like when Elusive stops in. He doesn't always stop in, but like Dubs and those guys, those are my dudes. Rusty, probably the most badass Sork in my opinion. Everybody says ESO Miami, but I think Rusty Accordion in my opinion is just got maybe a little extra something, not much. But, you know, really great guys. Really great PvPers. That's like, those are the dudes, like, yeah, those are my dudes. Q, all those guys. I thought you said you would have a conversation arguing your point versus theirs. Was that legit calculation formula of how damage works in ESO? I don't math well. English needs work too. I don't think installing Windows 95 count as test for Microsoft. No. I did Fable. I tested like one of the. I was like a thing for a Fable when Fable was being pre-released. Like, you know, like comments, feedbacks, and stuff like that for Fable when Fable was coming out and stuff. Because it's an RPG. What up, y'all? Yo, Mustang. Why is it every live feed I join, you are complaining about shit? Subject change. Thoughts on new sets. I don't think I'm complaining, pretty much, this one. We're just having a debate. Like, you know, just generalizing, talking. Asian changed the title of his video. Laugh out loud, coward. Of what? What did he change it to? I don't care. What did he change it to? That's what somebody else. Are you on NA or EU? Always NA. I'm on NA on all of them. On all platforms. I'm not trolling, but in order to prove this, you need to make a video. I only understand that by critical rate percent. I already have that. Sorry, Jake, you're too late. I already have the videos. If you haven't noticed, if you take a look at my thing, I got hundreds of videos. And we go over that. And Snoop would tell you that. And so would everybody else. Not everybody always agrees with me, though. Quit your bitching. Spitting fire much? Oh, hold on. I'm gonna die. If I don't... Okay. Let me check this out. Cool, just checking. What a debate. Sorry, but didn't you just ban the people who disagreed with you after insulting them several times? No. No, I didn't initially even know who these dudes were. I don't know. I didn't even know who these dudes were. Initially. Like, they started like whatever and then popping in and all this other shit. And then all of a sudden they want to troll me, and then they got this little thing like they're trying to oust me. And they've made it known that they're trying to. So yeah. So why would I have them on my thing if they've already stated? I swear. Damn, I should have, like, whatever. I'm not paying attention. Sometimes a problem. Let me go over here. I'm going about to end this anyways. Problem when I'm not paying attention. Okay. Okay. I don't know. Tim. Does it make a difference? Is that your channel? I mean, you probably changed something with your Google account, Tim. Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I honestly, I don't know why. You got me. I have no idea. That's something I have no idea on. Can you answer what I originally asked, or am I just going to get ignored? Chalk, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You've asked, and I've told you. I have videos already, dude. What are you talking about? I had just answered your question. Hello? Right. He's a troll. When I already tell you I have, yeah, he's one of those dudes. When I already told you I have videos, what part of that don't you understand? That I went over, you know, critical values and, you know, the diminishing rate after percentage of critical, you know, implied critical value. What part of that don't you get? Like how it differs from base damage. Like, what the fuck? I don't think you did, to be honest. No, I think I did. I told him I had videos. I said after a certain point, you're 55. I said it in this video. I said you have to stay between 55 and 60. I'm the one that originally told Gilliam that, right? Because he stacked CP, like his critical value in 80%. And then all of a sudden he came out with a video saying, ideally you want to be between 55 and this and your critical value. And I'm like, how convenient that you would say that, Gilliam, after stacking 80% in the critical value. Because your base damage is 150% of critical damage output without modifiers, right? So it's like, holy shit. You know, hello. And I just said that in this video. And I said I have the videos. Like, what part of that? Like, what? And if you don't believe me that Gilliam used to stack 80% crit, go look and then take a look at his builds now. He's within that 55-60 margin now. He used to stack up to 60. I mean, 80. And he's got the videos out there proving it. Where I've always said, stay between 55 and 60. Now, sometimes it'll get lower. Not anything I want. But, like, sometimes my critical value will be between 52, 53. Can I bump it up and take, like the Thief? Yeah, but is it worth losing base damage? That now becomes debatable. So sometimes in my configurations, I'll have to make that call. I'll have to make the call. Do I want to crit more frequently and lose a little bit on the base, thus affecting critical damage output? Or do I want to keep it and crit less frequently, slightly? It's, you know, those are kind of like things you have to kind of like fine tune. That would be personal decisions. So whatever. If you want to go ahead and do the test and make that call yourself, you're more than welcome to. Each will have their own preference. So, yeah. To each their own in that aspect. No, I literally said it when I was last here. I mean, you might have been only on 25, but I said it during the beginning of the stream, and I said I have videos. Yeah. Wasn't that after the Horns of the Reach update, I think, when Thief Mundus was nerfed and the Warrior Mundus and roll weapon damage being outperforming? Well, during the Horns of the Reach, they they did change all the values except the thief. So the thief didn't get an increase, right? So it was like, oh shit. At first it was like, it was on PTS, they were debating about it. So we had that Mother Sorrow convo, right? When everybody was talking about Mother Sorrow, if you guys remember that during Horns of the Reach, because we were all testing critical value sets because all the stats were being upped. So the whole idea was like saying, oh my God, wait a minute. So if our base values are all increased, right, because of all these effects due to sets, now if we go ahead and increase critical value or critical percentage, our base value is, guess what, unchanged. So now we're going to crit more frequently for without a loss, right, occurring, and we're going to be pushing out a tremendous amount more damage. So ZOS is like, wait, time out. Wait, how are we going to do this? Oh, well, we have to make it so certain things don't change, because now we're going to make them what? Crit all the time, dealing a nice amount of crit consistently. So it was like, how do you fix it? Well, we're not gonna add a modifier to the thief. It's like, okay, fuck it, So a lot of people got disappointed about it, but that's why everybody was talking about critical values at that time, and it was like, oh shit, I mean, ZOS is good. They're good at what they do. They know what's up. They know what's going down. If we start getting hype about it, you think ZOS is going to let us keep it like that? Bullshit. No way. Hello. No. So, yeah. So that was like the whole thing with all that shit that was going down. Of course, it never saw fruition. Now, I still use Night Mothers on the Corrupted Inquisitor because it gives me that value for that build that I'm looking for. So Night Mothers is still a really good set, right? But once again, I have to look at, when I'm doing a build, this is the thing I'm looking at right here. It all comes back down to this first, test, and then come back. Because then I have to say, what kind of food am I running? What sets am I running? What's my percentage value? Whether I'm using Undaunted bonus, am I going with a 5-1-1 config? Am I going with a 6-1 config? Because all those passives are going to make a difference. Now, abilities, different losses occurring depending on, rotation setup. A lot of things go into it, man. Where you're going to take the choke and where you're going to try to maximize, right? And everything can be argued. Everything can be debated. And it's like you're never going to gain at any point in time to say, oh, well, this works for me, it should work for everybody. Well, it's not always going to. So, once again, some people might go ahead and make those adjustments. They might run the same build config, but their rotation might slightly deviate because of something else that they preferred, right? Within the build parameter, right? And you don't know if they're going to do that. So you can't say and make that call and say, oh, everybody's going to run this build 100% the same, and everybody's going to be successful, and trial progression and everything, and this is going to be at its all-time high. And everybody's going to, acquire everything in whatever. I mean, it's like, no, not really. I'm like, so what are you going to do? I mean, you provide so much and hope that players will adjust to their play style or find a way to do the content on their own terms. So, you provide what content you can. That's about it. That's the only suggestion I give. But I always I like providing more for average players. Saying, okay, this is the way I like it. If you don't, here's your options, blah, 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 blah. I know who that one is. God, I swear to God. You can always tell when that one shows up.
Another distraction.
Yep. See, yeah, dude, I don't know when this dude ever is going to give up. You know, he always pops in. But they're paying me in a way, so sure. And you are playing console or PC? No, Jake. I play on all platforms. And there you go. I'm smelling that one. Nice stun. The dude got me with the back with the poison injector too. See, I don't pay attention sometimes when I'm like typing in between things, and before I know it, I got a bunch of people on me. Well, 2 at least. Gotta pay attention, man, when I'm in here. But anyways, man. So, there we have it. Just plain and simple. The primary issue I see with most of your arguments is you are treating this game as if combat happens in a test tube. Reality is sets such as Alkosh and Thunderflame rarely 100% uptime. Well, no. Thunderflame has no cooldown. If you can't keep Thunderflame uptime 100%, Trolls always... Hold on. I love that comment. Trolls always be hating. Always, Andrew. Always. If you can't keep 100% uptime on Thunderflame, something's really wrong. That's all I can say. If they claim to hate you but follow everything you do, just call them fans. Ah, I love that! Dude, that's so badass! I love that's a good one. Ads move. Really angry groupies. Yes, that's another one. I love these ones. These ones are so badass. No, I don't even know how to pronounce your name. Or whatever. If you can't keep 100% uptime on Thunderflame, you are doing something completely fucking wrong, given the fact that it only needs a heavy attack. Seriously? Seriously? It rarely happens. You can't keep 100% uptime on Thunderflame? That's ridiculous. You only have 7 seconds to reapply another heavy attack. That's a test tube theory. Sure, it's pseudoscience at its finest. Oh my god. Has anybody ever heard of something? You have 7 seconds to do a heavy attack. Can you do it? Oh my god. Holy shit. 7 seconds? Jeez, Jesus. That's a big issue. If you can't land another heavy attack in 7 seconds, you got problems, son. You got big problems. Hell, supposedly I suck and I can still get a heavy attack in a 7-second count. Jeez, fucking Jesus. Excuse me. Alright, I'm about to wrap it. There are 2 other deduction sets, and Alkosh is the biggest one. Yeah, your point. The 2 easiest ones to keep up are, guess what? Night Mothers and Sunder. And if you add the Alkosh, and I don't know if you know about staggering, the words implied. Staggering. Your synergies on the count, you can keep Alkosh 100% uptime as well. If you stagger. That might be a new word for players. It might be too complicated. Especially if you're running two of them with Alkosh. There's a lot of synergies that proc Alkosh. We have limited synergies in the game. These global cooldowns and Alkosh isn't going to be as good. I don't know. Shit. Bone Shield. Liquid Lightning. Ultimates. Jeez, Matesus. There's like, how many ultimates that have synergies? Right? You have other abilities that have synergies, but people overlook the ultimates ones. It's okay. It's alright. It's all good. That's the difficult part, especially prior to drained bones. I've heard that there's diminishing, staggering throughs. Dude, that's like incoherent. It's like gibberish. But like I said, man, people can have debates with me. That's fine. You can debate with me. We can talk like rational people. That's fine. That's cool. My community members and I do that. And not everybody agrees with me. Snoop has always been on like other opposite, points. But he's never afraid to voice his opinion. And I never hold anything against anybody. Snoop would go ahead and tell you guys that. But I do not deal with trolling or hate or whatever. Majority of the time when I don't have to deal with bullshit drama, I'm pretty accessible. And I don't do Endgame all the time or whatever. I get my gear and I get the fuck out. No, I'm helping a guild with progression at the moment. If you diminish your staggered critical value, you lose damage. You diminish your... Yeah. See, gibberish, man. I'm glad they're coming out, though. Okay. Another one's gone. I did come at you rudely, simply pointing out realities of endgame content. It is very difficult to maintain perfect deduction debuffs in actual raid environment. Well, mechanics can be a pain in the ass. I agree, man. I mean, definitely. And depending on each trial, I mean, because you have group separation, do you have soft stack? Do you have hard stack? Of course, man. A lot of these things are factors. And I mean, and you're right in that aspect. But at the same time, if you coordinate, you should, and depending on how you coordinate your team, those applications could still be maintained. That's all I'm saying. What trial are you progressing in? I'm helping actually a guild with a ton of different trials. So there's one of my guilds that I'm in. I am like kind of training players for vet trials. We're doing some vet trials already, and and I'm just working with them as a unit, for per class, per specifications, and trying to help them as a unit. And it's coming. It's progression. And, I'm happy with some of the results. I can be a little harsh. At first, I didn't want to do it. Like, I have, like, certain players I play with. And it's like, okay, I don't necessarily want to do this because I can be too crucial when it comes to that type of content. And that's why I keep trying to, and I told them, I'm like, look, I walked away as a raid leader at one time in games. And I don't want to be that person anymore because I get stressed out, I get critical, and I don't want to be that person, right? It's kind of why I walked away from like the elite type shit, because every time it always ends bad. Not just for me, but I've seen multiple shit happen throughout my years. But they were like, no, it's not going to be like that. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. That sounds good to me. And, it's just trying to help the players, accomplish their goals. And, they've gotten through, 2 vets right now. And, we're working as a team and getting players, lined up, because you want to make sure if you don't have one player there who's on a regular team, like what setup was he wearing? What are we missing? What do we need to fill in with? Type scenario. And that's kind of important, especially when you work in progression and trying to, fine tune those things. And they're doing really good. So I'm really happy with them. And I really enjoy, and I always apologize because I come off a certain way. So my apologies always prior to run and after run. So, because I'm very crucial on mechanic phases and things like that. So, it's just who I am. Yeah, mechanics definitely can be, man. That's the issue, man. Like, just knowing, which phase, and of course, it's definitely can be whatever is my favorite of the newer trials. Or are you doing some crags? We're starting off with some crags, and we're, working on AS normal applied extra, right? So we're going to try 2 bosses, 3 bosses on normal. Try 1 boss on each on vet. Then progress 2 and then 3 and things like that. I mean, eventually we're trying to get down that line, but I'm spread out everywhere. My phone just died. So for the record, it's dead. But no, they're good play. They're willing to learn, and and they're patient. I can only be so patient. Of course, look, I'm talking and just getting sieged on. Oof. But definitely, like I said, I just want to help players if I can. If I can't, fine. Follow who you want. Listen to who you want. I'm not the man with every answer in the book. And I don't pretend to be. I just came into a community in a game that was completely full of shit. That's all. They stack CPs, they overgeneralize the fucking gear. They didn't take into consideration all of these different dynamics that are being applied. And I do agree with certain content creators. I have agreed with Gilliam. I've also disagreed with them. Same thing with Outcast. Things like that. And it's healthy. It's healthy to have criticism. It's healthy. I don't care if people hate me. I don't care if they're going to try to oust me. I don't care. Right? I don't give a shit. Right? Because at the end of the day, you can do what you want and what you feel is in your best interest. That's it. That's all. Do what you feel is in your best interest. If you want to label that meta, have at it. To me, meta's a farce. Because meta dictates. Right? It dictates. But yet, you have players out there completing content that are outside of the meta, and they're succeeding. And that's fact. Okay? It's just fact. So are they wrong for not conforming? Do you want everybody to be conformist? If so, you might as well go ahead, give everybody a number You know, dye everybody's hair the same. You know, make sure everybody looks the same. Make sure all the drones are lined up perfectly in a row. Because it becomes bland as fuck. A game like this. If everybody has no originality. Kind of boring. So, you know, try something. If you don't like it, you can always go back. That's up to you as a player. Not up to me. Not up to them. It's up to you. Do what you want to do. It's your game. I'm playing my game. You play yours. If you don't like my content, don't come to my channel. If you want to troll me, go ahead. You want to go ahead and make videos and get your little fame on and whatever, go ahead. But you're just feeding me free publicity. That's all you're doing. You're just feeding me free publicity at this moment. So, whew, wow, cool. Thank you. Sure. Get everybody to hit dislike and whatever have you. But like I said, majority of these players, they're not going to have Maelstrom. They're not going to have VMA. They're not, or VMA. They're not going to have Master. They're just not going to have it. And the way I look at it, I would rather... Where in the heck is everybody? There's like 3 or 4 people in this keep. This is so whacked. So whacked, I'm telling you. At the end of the day, if whatever works for a player, I always say go for it. That's what I'm always saying. Do you and be happy. Life's too short to be miserable. Don't let things get to you either. Holy God. Don't be so friggin' anal. If somebody doesn't like you, screw it. That's what I always tell my girls. Like, I literally, like, seriously, like I said, I was an amateur fighter. You know, I ain't got time. I ain't got time to be worried. I could take some punches, believe you and me. You know, believe you and me. That's never going to be an issue for me. So, anyways, guys, I'm out. Everybody have a good one. I'm Mysticraven, the ESO Daily, once again and always. Have a nice day.